Right, welcome to The Boy at the Back of the Class. This is Chapter 8, Part 2. I wonder if we'll get a pomegranate today. I packed my rucksack with a water bottle, an apple and a banana, put on my wellies, brushed my hair and emptied my piggy bank. I had exactly £4.20 saved up, so I took £3, hoping that, just like my astronaut stationery set, I could find 2 pomegranates that were on sale today. First, we went to the fruit stall that was at the bottom of our high street. It's run by a man and a woman called Mr. and Mrs. Marbles, who liked to shout, "Only a pound, fruit and veg, only a pound," to all the people that walked by. Their faces were always red and smiling, and they wear giant square-shaped green belts around their waist, which look empty but jingle loudly when they walk. Mrs. Marbles helps people pick out the fruit they want, and Mr. Marbles puts them in a bag. We always buy fruit and vegetables from there. I never know them not to have anything we need, but when we asked them if they had a pomegranate, they both shook their heads and told us to try the supermarket. So we walked up and over the hill to the supermarket. They had a fruit section that was as long as our house, but Mum couldn't see a pomegranate anywhere. We went over to a man who was stacking carrots and humming to himself, and asked him if they had any pomegranates in store. He walked over to us to a small empty box, but it was empty. "Sorry, love, looks like we run out. You might want to try a bigger supermarket on the other side of town." "Oh, thank you." Mum looked down at me and sighed. "Come on, the adventure continues." We hopped onto a bus and after half an hour landed at an even bigger supermarket. This one had a car park as big as a football field and corridors as long as the ones in school. But we still couldn't find a pomegranate anywhere. "Let's ask someone," said Mum. "They must have them." We walked round and found a man dressed in a suit who was standing by the sandwich section. He had a label on his jacket, "Frank Smith, floor manager." I didn't know what a floor manager was, but I guessed he had to make sure the floor was clean and help anyone who fell down to get back up again. But Mr. Smith didn't look like the kind of person who would help anyone get up off the floor. He had lips that went downwards as if he never smiled, and his hair looked wet as if he'd put a large bottle of oil onto his head. He was staring at a clipboard and muttering angrily to himself. "Excuse me, Frank, is it?" "Hi," said Mum, smiling. The man gave my mum a cold nod before continuing to fill in his form. "We're looking for some pomegranates but can't find them." "We don't sell them here," said Frank, still looking at his clipboard. "Oh, really? Any idea where we could find some?" continued Mum. "No." My mum looked at him for a few seconds and said in a warmish voice, "Thank you, you've really outdone yourself in helping us today. Have a wonderful day." And grabbing my hand, she walked away. "Why were you so nice to him?" I asked. "He was horrible. He didn't try and even help us a little bit." "Because you'd never be horrible to someone who's been horrible to you," said Mum. "Otherwise they win by making you just as bad as them. Now, come on. Let's get back on the bus. There's another place I know we can try." By this time I was getting hungry, so while we were waiting for the next bus, I ate my banana. Said my mum, looking at her watch. It was nearly 2 o'clock and there were some dark grey clouds gathering in the sky. "I'm afraid the next stop will have to be our last one, darling. It looks like it's going to rain." A few seconds later, a very full bus pulled in front of us and we squeezed on. I clung onto Mum's coat because there weren't any empty seats and waited for our stop. I was worried because if this was our last try, then I'd just have one chance left to find a pomegranate, so I crossed my fingers and my toes and made a wish that we would. The next place felt like an awfully long way away, and when we finally got there, it was filled with so many people we could hardly walk properly. There was lots and lots of market stores lying in the middle of a big road, all selling fish, meat, bed sheets and long gold chains. There was a man with a microphone who was trying to sell perfumes like a game show host by shouting, "Roll up, roll up." And next to him was a woman shouted, "Peter never picked potatoes as good as any of these before. Buy now before they go." I wonder who Peter was and how much money he made picking potatoes, but then I could smell onions and burgers being cooked somewhere, which made my tongue rumble. I love burgers, especially ones that have lots of fried onions and ketchup in them, but I wanted to save my money for the pomegranates, so I scrunched up my nose and tried not to smell anything at all. We visited every stall in the market from the beginning of the street to the end, but even though we looked as carefully as we couldn't find a single pomegranate anywhere. Mama told me it was a pinkish ball that looked like a very hard apple, which had a small crown on the top, but I couldn't see anything that looked even a little bit royal. "Try the store up by the station," suggested one of the storeholders when Mum asked for help. "They have everything under the sun there. They should have some." "Thank you," said Mum. She grabbed my hand and gave it a squeeze because she could tell I was starting to give up hope. "Nearly there," she whispered. "I can feel it." We walked for 5 more minutes down the road and up to the station and found the shop the woman in the market had told us about. It was much smaller than the big supermarket with Frank, the horrible floor manager, in it, but it was bright with lots of coloured lights and bowls of fruit and vegetables. It had everything you could think of: peaches and plums, mangoes and bananas, kiwis and pears, yellow apples, red apples, pink apples, and even pink, spiky green fruit I'd never seen before. But we couldn't see any pomegranates, so we went inside and Mum asked the man behind the counter. "Ah," nodded the man, scratching the tip of his nose. "Pomegranate, I see for you." And talking out loud to himself, he hurried to the corner of the shop and quickly threw some boxes. "Much regret," he called out, holding an empty box. "No more. We have delivery on Tuesday." The man came back, looked at us, and we looked at him. He had a large white beard, a moustache that was curly at the ends, and he was wearing a bright red turban. I liked him because his eyebrows were like hairy caterpillars, and they jumped up and down when he spoke. "Oh, well," said Mum, "we tried at least." The man looked at me. I think he must have noticed I was looking sad, because he said, "Is it for this little one?" I looked up and nodded. "And for my friend," I said. "He's new in my class and misses home, and that's what he used to have." "I see," looking at me with a smile. Then he frowned as if he'd just thought of something, and suddenly pointed his finger at the ceiling and shouted out, "Aha!" and ran to a small door at the back of the shop. Mum and I looked at each other. "He's funny," I said. "I like him." "He seems lovely," said Mum. After a few seconds, the man came back, but instead of returning to the counter, he came and stood in front of us. "They're not perfect, but they'll be okay." And wiping his hands out from behind his back, he held up 2 pink balls, each with a crown on top. "Oh, you have some." "They're a little old. My wife says they are not perfect 100%, so we don't sell them, you see," said the man, his eyebrows jumping up and down. "My wife, she knows everything about fruit, so I have to listen to her." "They're perfect enough for us," laughed Mum. "Aren't they, darling?" I nodded as the man gently handed them to me. "You and your friend enjoy, please," he whispered, and tapped me on the nose with a finger that had a golden ring with a large red stone on it. I looked down at the pomegranates. They were the size of grapefruits and had a hard peachy pink and brown skin that was as smooth and as shiny as a polished glass. And both of them had a tiny flower on top of exactly 7 stiff brown petals. They were the best, most interesting thing I'd ever seen. Mum took a purse out because that's where I put my money, but the man shook his head and waved his hand. No, you must not. It's gift for little one." "Oh, no, you must let me." But the man held up his hand, which made Mum go quiet, and put a hand on his chest. "It is a gift. They are not excellent, not new, so very, very poor gift." "They're the best gifts," said Mum. "Aren't they, darling?" I nodded, feeling so happy that I wanted to hug the man and Mum and jump up and down at once. "Thank you, sir," I said, giving the man an enormous smile. "Welcome," he said, and smiling back, he gave me a pat on top of my head and waved at us as we left the shop. "What a wonderful man," said Mum as she helped me put the pomegranates in my rucksack. "He looked like a king," thinking of the ring with a stone in it and his red turban. "He certainly has the heart of one. Maybe he is one. You can never tell with people. Now, seeing as our unexpected adventure is at an end, let's hurry before it starts to pour." I looked up. Everything had suddenly turned dark, and the sky was filled with large grey clouds that were so low you could hear them rumbling. But I didn't care, because I had 2 of the best presents I could ever have in my bag, given to me by a man with the heart of a king. And that's the end of chapter 8. He finally got his pomegranates. Let's hope that his new friend enjoys the taste as much as he does. Bye for now.